Is being recorded and summarized.
All right, welcome everyone to our presentation. My name is Cliff Guerin. I am an advisor here with WGU's Career and Professional Development Center. And today we're going to talk about enhancing your job search with AI tools. Since AI is really becoming just part of our daily life, what's out there? How can that be used? How might that enhance your job search and the different elements of putting your what I call marketing materials together? So things like that. So a little bit of some housekeeping. If you need to get up and walk away, if there's anything that you need a drink of water, you need a bio break, if you're at work and you need to step away, that's perfectly fine. Please do what you need to do. As I said, this will be recorded and you will get a copy of it. And I've also included our email address so that if later on you have additional questions that's not answered here today, you can always contact us and we'd be glad to help. So our agenda is we're going to go over how AI can be used now for modern job search strategies. We'll talk about how it's used for your resume, cover letter, interview preparation, even what we have now with JobScan to be used for your LinkedIn profile. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. So all of this is to help really enhance that job matching efforts that you'll have during your job search. So I'd like to go ahead and show you this video we put together, which goes over as a reminder, what is AI and how can it be used for best practices? So let's take a listen.
Welcome to this short video on artificial intelligence and best practices. What is artificial intelligence? AI is the simulation of human intelligence in machines, enabling them to learn, reason, make decisions, and solve problems like humans do. Before jumping into using AI, there are some important considerations to address. High tech, high touch. This new technology is exciting, but it's also complicated. Embrace new technology, but don't forget human skills. AI is not always accurate. Think of AI like a smart computer helper. It's not perfect, and it can make mistakes. Since AI uses information and inputs it learned before, it might be outdated, and sometimes it even makes up stuff that's not true, which is why we recommend using caution when using AI. AI is biased and can be unfair. Since it learns from people, by default, it inherits human biases. Protect your information by not sharing personal information with public AI tools. Any data you share with generative AI tools will be used to further train the model. It is best not to share any personal or proprietary data. Good practice would be to not include your contact information at the top of your resume when pasting or uploading your resume to public AI tools or ChatGPT. Talk to AI like a friend. When you use AI, it's like having a conversation. You can ask it questions and tell it if you want something different. Don't just take the first answer it gives you. Start with your own ideas. Think of AI as a helper, not a replacement for your brain. Use it to make your own ideas better, not do all the work for you. Double check everything. When you're trying to get a job or do something important, make sure your work shows who you really are. Don't let AI make you sound like somebody you're not. Remember, AI can help you work faster, but it's important to make sure your work still sounds like you. Many people use AI, so adding your own personal touch will help make you stand out.
Before you use any application, you need to understand the risks associated with AI and what information you should avoid entering when using public AI tools. Never input personally identifiable information in any public platform. This includes names, addresses, or other information that could reasonably be used to identify an individual. Do not use people's images or likenesses without consent. Be cautious when uploading images that can contain information like names, locations, times, and dates. Do not prompt public AI tools to generate content in the style of a particular creator. Doing so is likely to result in copyright infringement. Never input sensitive information into public AI systems or applications not explicitly set up to protect them. When using public AI tools, make sure to do the following. Do redact sensitive information, such as names, addresses, and phone numbers. Do maintain oversight by reviewing and checking results. AI-generated content should be evaluated for accuracy and bias before being used. And do practice caution when using public AI tools. Stick with applications built by well-known companies with established security protocols and ethical guidelines. When AI tools help us analyze data and problem solve, but we must be aware of the risks and limitations of AI and follow best practices and policies to protect our information. Remember always to do the following. Always practice caution when using public AI tools. Never enter sensitive information into unapproved public AI tools. And carefully review AI output. If you have any questions about Big Interview or other AI tools, please reach out to us.
Welcome to the
All
short
right.
video.
Well, we can get this thing going here. Sorry about that, folks. Let me get back online, so to speak. Little glitch here with our, well, sorry about that. So while I'm trying to fix our little glitch here, how many of you, if you want to put this in the chat, how many of you have worked with AI, and what platform are you using? I'll be reading these answers here in just a minute. All right, Gemini, JobScan, GPT. That's great. All right. And we have a question here. How plausible is it to not include the public information as it suggests? It's pretty common to expect at least a name, phone number, city and state. Some industries expect a website. Yeah, Ben, what we're talking about is if you're using AI, say, to create or to get ideas on your resume or something like that, you don't want to use your personal information. It's not sending it to anybody. It's not going to a recruiter. It's only to give you insights and tips. So then you take that back to your original document, and then you can open that up into something else. So this strong suggestion of not using personal information is universal. This is universal across all of the different AI platforms and chatbots. So you want to be careful not to include that information, because again, those AI platforms are being trained by every single person asking a question, putting information in. It's collecting that information and it's storing it somewhere. So that's to your best interest to safeguard your privacy. So I hope that is helpful. All right. Well, let me try to get in here. I'm sorry about the issues here. All right. So let me get back into my sharing mode. For some reason, WebEx doesn't want to play today, but here we go. All right. So hopefully we'll have a smoother transition here. Okay. So going back to with the job search strategies, the first impression you're going to have is your resume, right? So today, and not only just today, but for quite a long time, when you're applying to jobs, I think most of you know your resume is going to go to an applicant tracking system. And so those applicant tracking systems were created so that if there's one or two jobs at a company, but literally hundreds of people are applying to that job, it's going to almost be humanly impossible to sift through all of those applications and resumes. So the applicant tracking systems were created to do that automatically. It's an automation. It was done so that it was easy to parse through those resumes and to be able to create individual cases for those applicants or for those jobs that's being open. So for you as the applicant and the creator of your resume, what you want to pay attention to are going to be these areas that the applicant tracking systems will really be looking at. And there are two critical things. The first is you want to avoid using a template you find online. Now, the problem is with that is that those templates are usually created by desktop publishers, artistic creators, creative marketing aspects, things like that. So they may be using lots of, maybe a different type of font. They may be using images, icons. This one, if you see, it's one that has somebody's picture on it. All of these are verboten. These are forbidden for resumes because those applicant tracking systems are not going to be able to read some of this information. And so that could be that it's missing very important details of your resume. So what's the answer to this? Keep it simple. Just a plain Word document. And if you want to save that Word document as a PDF and still apply to different jobs, those applicant tracking systems can still read through those through those PDFs, through those Word documents. What they cannot read and what those ATS cannot still get through are text boxes, headers, footers, columns, things like that. And I know that sometimes people will roll their eyes at that to say, well, how long or how many pages does a resume have to be? Only 1 to 2 pages. Columns might help, but it's not going to help if that ATS cannot differentiate. It doesn't differentiate. These are 2 columns. It's going to read each line as one individual line so that information could be gargled, and you don't want that to happen either. So that's where some of the helpful AI things like JobScan can be helpful. That's where we as humans can help you review your documents as part of your job search strategy. We have a process for that, so we can certainly offer that as a service. But still across the board, we're seeing that those formatted templates you find online are still not really 100% the best way to do this. The other is that, it's going to scan for those keywords, like I said, from the job descriptions. And so you want to have your formatting to where it really does offer the best match rate possible. And that's going to depend on some of the formatting that's there. So here's another question. Let's see. Does JobScan templates count as an invalid template for ATS? Probably not. And to tell you the truth, I have not gone into the specific templates for JobScan, but because of the very nature that JobScan is an AI simulator for also those ATSs, they should be safe. But to verify that, let me touch base with our JobScan folks who may have a deeper dive into that and see what more I can get out of it. From that. I think the warning is basically things that you may find on Google. If you Google templates or something, even with Word documents. I've looked at some of the sample Word documents from Microsoft, and they are not ATS friendly. So that's just kind of our warning, is to help you avoid the things that might stumble during your job search. Because again, if those can't be read, or if they are flagged by the ATS, you're going to have that low match rate. And so the reviewer or the recruiter won't be able to see that. Yes, the templates we have from our department were created explicitly to be ATS friendly. They're going to be, developed for the different degree plans. If that's healthcare, business, IT, School of Technology, Teachers College, all developed in a way that's going to help you get through those applicant tracking systems. This is a little recap of what I just talked about. But for some of you that may be watching this and it's the recorded version, I just wanted to make sure that you're able to actually see this in writing. And so we'll help you out. Again, sometimes those applicant tracking systems are notoriously bad at reading through some of the formatting that's out there. So you want to avoid that. PDFs are going to be okay. They're still going to be able to read through that. But if you're seeing in the instructions of applying to a job to send a Word document, make sure you're sending a Word document and make sure it's not a link. It's not a Google link. It's not a link from a cloud-based platform. It needs to be a actual Word file that's attached or uploaded to that that job platform. So make sure that happens. Colors, columns, again, those formatting embellishments, they're not going to make a difference if your resume is going to be, chosen above anybody else's. You don't want it to look too cluttered or busy. That could be a distraction from recruiters. And I've had recruiters say within the first 5 seconds, if they're beginning to read your resume and it is harder to get through the resume than easier to find information, they may stop and just go on to the next person. Keep it, just like Christian said, a good, clean resume on a Word document. You're going to be assured that it's going to get through. It's not going to be confusing to any of those AI scans. And that's going to be your best bet. Now, we talked about JobScan, and JobScan can help with all of these elements of your job search. Working with your resume, you have unlimited job tracking capabilities where you can track the jobs from those job boards. You can even put your URL in for a LinkedIn profile optimization. So it will actually tell you what you can do, what's included, what's missing, recommendations of how to use the job descriptions to help with your LinkedIn profile. And somebody said earlier about cover letters, it can help you with your cover letter generator. Then you take it and you make sure that you give it your own touch, make sure there are no mistakes, there are no hallucinations, anything like that that was just talked about. Ben, I've not heard that as far as the different versions of a Word document. There's like you have here, the formatting from 97 to 2003 is just the .doc. And then most recent is the .docx. If you've heard anything specific why that is the case, if it's older applicant tracking systems that may not be able to read that newer version, I don't know if that's actually the case because 2003 is a pretty long time ago. And I think a lot of companies and recruiters are trying to stay on top of the technology. But sometimes you may hear things that are out there, and it's always good to put that through to make sure that you're sending the right version so that it gets through. When I'm doing a resume review and I save it before I send it back to students, Word itself will say, this is an older version. Would you like me to update it to our latest version? I don't do that. I leave that up to the student to do. But it will tell you if they think it's a better choice to have the most recent version. It's like updating your computer. If you never updated your computer, you may be working with some really old, programming in the background. And I think, in my opinion, a newer version is going to be probably more helpful, unless I hear from a specific recruiter saying, we would rather have a different type of version. Then I would go by what the recruiter says. All right. Well, folks, I wanted to give you another video. This is on JobScan. If you haven't used JobScan yet, this is we have all these videos on our homepage that you'll find on the JobScan folder. But this one specifically is about how it scores your resume. I think this is really pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you today.
Welcome to JobScan. My name is Sydney, and I'm going to show you a full walkthrough of the JobScan match rate report. After you scan your resume,
Oops. Come on.
the job listing for the job you want to apply for, you'll see your match rate report. JobScan gives you an instant analysis of how well your resume is tailored for a particular job and how to optimize it for applicant tracking systems or ATS. The match rate you see here is based on how well your resume matches up with the job description you entered. We recommend aiming for a match rate of 75% or higher. The first section you'll see here is searchability. Since companies use applicant tracking systems to track and manage candidates, you want to make sure that your resume can be understood by that system. Remember, it's a computer, so it doesn't read documents the way humans do. If a recruiter uses an ATS to search for certain keywords or skills, you want to make sure that the ATS understands that those keywords are on your resume and that you match the search parameters. And by the way, if you see a notice here to add missing scan information, all you have to do is click on that link and type in the URL from the company website for the job you're applying for and the company name. The JobScan system will automatically detect which ATS that company is using and give you guidance on how to optimize your resume accordingly. The report will also tell you if other important resume text like contact info, education info, and dates are searchable. The next two sections on your match report show you hard and soft skills that are listed in the job description. Hard skills especially play a major role in hiring decisions, so adding the skills listed here have a high impact on your match rate. The report will show you how many times a skill is mentioned in the job description and how many times it's mentioned on your resume. You can click on a skill to see it in the context of the job description. That might help you better understand exactly what the recruiter will be looking for. You might also see predicted skills in this list. Our system is trained to predict skills that a hiring manager might look for based on the kind of job you're applying for. These skills aren't in the job description, but they are commonly mentioned in similar job descriptions, so you might consider adding them to your resume. To get the best results, use these skills lists as a guide for optimizing your resume for an ATS, but also the recruiter. Rather than simply writing these words on your resume, use the skills list to inform what you highlight in your work experience section, what measurable results you talk about, and what projects you focus on. There are other keywords listed here as well. These include company-specific jargon, buzzwords, or industry lingo. Including them might help your resume get noticed, but these keywords have a low score impact. Next, you'll see recruiter tips. We surveyed professional recruiters and got their feedback on what they look for in a resume. Remember, after optimizing for an ATS, you also need to optimize for the human that's going to look at your resume. Is there enough information? Do you include measurable results? It's important to include these things on your resume, but note that these tips do not impact your match rate because they apply to every single job that you apply for. Lastly, JobScan will check your formatting to make sure it's ATS friendly and human friendly. Use these tips to make sure that the ATS can correctly parse the text on your resume and that the recruiter or hiring manager can easily read the text. As you follow these tips, your match rate will increase. JobScan includes several tools to help job seekers get more interviews, including cover letter optimization, LinkedIn optimization, and more. We'll discuss these features in separate videos. To get started, go to jobscan.co and get your free match rate report today.
All right. So keep in mind, this is from JobScan. This is a video they made. Keep in mind, you have a premium account already, so you don't need to go and get a free, match rate or sign up with them per se. So make sure that you are using the links that we have from our website, and you're using your WGU sign-in credentials, and that's where you're going to get the premium account. I wanted to stop a minute and see that Christian has given us a sample prompt for GPT. I think that's really good, and that's an excellent way to tell it, as you're going through this, make sure you're using the content of the attached resume, so you're pointing it toward that specific information. Christian also put in that maybe something a little glitchy with his experience, not being able to find the work experience on his resume. You made some changes, some iterations. What I could do is just take that information back to our JobScan folks that have a deeper dive with that and see what might be going on, and if there are any tips that we can gain from that as well. So thanks for sharing that experience. That's only going to make, hopefully, it work better for all of us. All right. So as we said before, that JobScan can also help with your cover letter, but also using the other AI features like Copilot or anything like that can help with your cover letter. And so what I put together were some sample prompts and how to kind of put this into action. If you can see this, so let's say you're using ChatGPT, and if you have an account, that's great. It'll say that for a few times, but begin your prompts with telling it exactly what you're looking for. Here's an example. I'm applying to a software engineering position and I need a cover letter. Showcase my experience in writing clean code in Python, C++, JavaScript, and using object-oriented programming. Now, again, if you want to upload your resume and then maybe the job description as you're putting these prompts in for a cover letter, then it's taking more information and more data to give that to you. Now, one thing I was told at a workshop, if you're doing this and you're putting the prompt in, you're including your resume, you're including some of that information with your instructions like this. If you do 3 hashtags that I put in the text or in the chat, this is instructing that GPT bot or that chat GPT to not include your question as part of the answer. It's almost similar to what Christian said, telling it to recommend these additions, but only in support of the content of the attached resume. So giving it these additional instructions will help you have a cleaner output. And again, you take that and then you don't just cut and paste it to the job. You need to take it, put it in a Word document, go through it, proofread it, change it to where it's in your voice and your tone to make it work best for you. And again, as number 3 says, do not include your personal information, only the content of that cover letter. Fine-tuning it, again, looking for those biases, those errors, those hallucinations. It just needs to be second nature as we're using these new tools. Now, you've got your resume, your cover letter, you've applied to jobs on Handshake. Make sure your Handshake profile is completed 100%. That's going to include a profile picture. So make sure you have a good professional looking picture. You don't have to go and buy something. But having your Handshake profile completed, including your skills, including your about me or your summary section, all of that's going to help you and help those algorithms behind the recruiter's search and your search to really find the best matches possible. May not be the perfect match, but having all of your profile completed is going to help you get closer to a better match. So as you all know, we have Big Interview as our interview preparation tool. That is also including some AI behind how Big Interview works. And you can use ChatGPT to generate some maybe sample interview questions. And here is a prompt that you can use. Generate a star answer for, and then put your question in, based on my resume, and then your resume is there, and have that come up. So let's do a little demonstration. I'm going to pull my chat or my Copilot up here, and let's start with what we call a persona. The persona is, I'm going to tell Copilot, act like a recruiter and ask me 5 interview questions for now somebody in the chat, here's our audience participation. Give me an example from anybody who is, whatever your degree studies are, what interview question or what job title would you like interview questions from? Okay, great. Christian, you're on the ball. You always have been. For a SOC analyst, tier 1 role. Okay. Here's my prompt. Let's see how fast it takes for it to generate the answer. Seconds. Boom. It's right there. 5 questions. What steps would you like to take if you receive an alert for a potential phishing email? And it gives the purpose. Can you explain the difference between a false positive and a true positive in security alerts? How would you handle each? What tools or technologies have you used or familiar with for monitoring and analyzing security events? Describe a time when you had to escalate an incident, and what factors did you consider before escalating? If you notice unusual outbound traffic from a workstation, what would be your initial steps to investigate? Then look at what ChatGPT does. It even takes it to the next level, and it says, would you like me to provide ideal answer frameworks for your questions? Or create 5 more advanced technical questions for tier 1 SOC analysts? That's pretty cool. Now, I also like this feature. Let's see if I can find it here. I'm not seeing, but you can have this, read it back to you, read it aloud back to you if you want. Oh, I don't have the audio on there, but you can go to this and then click that and it will read it back to you. Just an added feature that's there for that. Let's try another one. I'm going to keep that persona in there. Act like a recruiter and where'd you go? Well, maybe I need to go back down here. Okay. So act like a recruiter and give me 5 top skills for today's HR professional. Data-driven decision-making gives a little blurb about that. Employee experience and engagement, change management and adaptive compliance and risk management. And then it gives a little blurb after each one of those to give you a little bit more explanation. And then again, it asks, would you like me to also provide behavioral-based, interview questions to test these skills? This is great. This is a great way to use these tools and AI, things that are out there for us today. Here are some other areas or some other platforms you can use as well. Interview Sidekick, Interviewer.ai, Google's Interview Warmup, Udemy, So excellent ways to use these tools in a responsible way, in an informed way. Here is something I have been hearing most recently of people who are afraid or worried that AI might take my job. What if we don't find any jobs out there because AI is taking all of them? Some of them will be reduced. You know, the workforce may be reduced because of automation of tasks, administration, things like that, but other jobs will be created. But here's what I'm hearing most often is that AI will not take your job, but people who know AI could take your job. So it might be a change of attitude. It might be a change in accepting what's already in our backyard. Be one of those people that's informed. Be one of those people that is curious. Be educated in what AI is, what it's not, what it can do for you, and how you can be a better user of these particular tools. Here are some other ways to enhance your job search. Update your Handshake and LinkedIn profiles regularly. Do it on a regular basis. Sign up for job alerts. So you're getting that. You get that with Handshake. Up in the upper right corner of Handshake, you can see what jobs might be available. And if you click on that, that will open it up. It will automatically send you what it thinks might be relevant based on your profile. That could be a job alert. Review the AI suggested jobs that match what you're looking for. So you always want to be cautious. You always want to make sure that, you know, and this is what I'm hearing, that if you're using the automated job application tools, that would be fine. But some people are saying maybe don't do that because you want to be in control of what you send and what you receive. So you're not missing something, or if something needs to be corrected in your job alert criteria, you can go back and do it. It's really kind of up to you on how you want to manage those, but listen to what warnings are out there, but be aware of where you're getting that information. If it's just somebody, you know, on some website saying this is evil or whatever, talk to a career advisor, talk to somebody who's on a daily basis engaged with these tools and resources. And I think you'll get a better informed opinion, and then you make those opinions on your own. Here is a quick reference guide to some of the more popular of our tools and resources for job searching. So Christian again is saying, you know, build something with AI tools. Consider a practitioner certification from AWS. That's good. There are some great Udemy classes available for preparation. We also have a AI certification through WGU Academy. I got that. I went through the WGU Academy. I got the AI certification within, I think, 4 months, 5 months. And so I have a little better information and understanding of how AI works, not on the technical side, but on the ethical side, on the responsible user side. And I'm glad to be able to present these presentations and develop these for you and help you. So these are live hyperlinks. So if I clicked on career exploration, then I'm going to go to our page where you will have an AI smart career goal guide to help you with your career goals. You can scroll down. You can find sample prompts we put together. And here are some as well. Career advisor to help with that. So we're giving you all kinds of great tools to be able to find these this information. And then again, once you get a copy of this video, you should be able to access these just by clicking and go straight to that page. Career planning and gap analysis. If you're a career changer and you're like, I don't even know if I'm qualified even after my degree. Well, let's look at this and allow these tools to help you with a gap analysis. Not only a gap analysis, but also ways for you to fill in those gaps. And again, I'm pointing back to Christian. If you want something to fill in some additional information on AI tools, here are some ways to do that. Finding certifications, going through courses or classes like LinkedIn Learning may have some modules, and that's for free for y'all, for everyone from WGU. Again, sample AI prompts to use. Excellent ways to get additional resources. That's here. And then if you're trying to put together a targeted company list of companies you want to research, here are some ways to do that, and even some ChatGPT and Perplexity to use to help you with that. Define your company preferences, give customized prompts, kind of following the same formulas of what we're seeing before. All right. I know this is a lot of information. And if you've been to our website, we have a lot of detailed resources and tools. We're glad to help you navigate some of that, but just jump in. Just jump in, and you're not going to break anything. But right now, with the few minutes we have left, I'd be glad to try to answer any questions. If you have any other thoughts based on the presentation, I'd be glad to address those now. If you need to jump and go on to your next event, please feel free to do that. You know how to access us if you have any questions from our email, which I'm going to put in the chat now again at careers@wgu.edu. And that would be great. Thank you, Christian, for volunteering that information as well. So that's excellent. This is the other advantage of some of these events that we have, is that you're getting introduced to some of your classmates who have maybe that experience or background in this topic as well. So you're expanding your network. You're opening up the doors for you to have even more contacts to help you with additional next steps. Sharing your LinkedIn URL, again, deepening your networking opportunities. Any questions to this open, or any thoughts? Did you learn something new or something you didn't know? You can share that as well. Yes, and Debbie, you'll be receiving this video. You can go back if there's something I might have gone too fast over, or something that you wanted to linger on as a reference tool. It's a great way to use the video. Yeah, Anna, it's great, and it can be your partner in helping with those interview questions. And if you want live interaction, you can always set up an appointment with one of our advisors, and we can do a real-time mock interview as well. Yes, Ben, that's correct. Let me go back here. Let me go actually to when you go to our homepage, you're going to see right there, splashed right up front, now available job scan. So our homepage is careers.wgu.edu. And then all you need to do is click on that, and it will take you to the job scan page where you can log in. You scroll down a little bit more, you get some statistics. You go here and you can look at the demo videos. I showed you the one on the resume score, but if you want one on how it works with your cover letter or your LinkedIn optimization, you can watch these quick videos and it will go into more detail. Additional information We have a tutorial ebook, more in-depth tutorials, and then even if it's something we can't do or work with because it's a JobScan thing, we give you a way to contact JobScan for support. So yeah, when you log in with your WGU credentials, that should give you the premium account. Here's more up here that you can find out if you click that, and we'll take you to more about the premium. All right, folks. Here is our contact information. If you did not see that before, you can find our YouTube channel. We have more presentations and workshops. You can find videos there. You can even search for certain topics. And it's not just us from Career Services. We also have employers who have done presentations with us, and some of their videos are also on our YouTube channel. If you call in with a quick question, you need to have something faster than an appointment. You'll get a voicemail where you leave a message, and then we will call you back either that business day or the next business day. And then we have throughout, again, if I go back to our homepage, you'll see our upcoming events, and that will open up the those events if you want to register for those. Quick links, planning your career, developing your brand, finding a job or internship, and all of that is going to be through Handshake, but this will walk you through some steps to help with your search. All right, thanks, Ben. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and stop the sharing here and stop our recording.